In this video, I am going to install and fully review IqraOS, which is based on HyperOS 3.1. But before we start, let me clear up a few important things. I am using the 6GB RAM and 128GB storage version. Because of this, the UI experience feels a bit laggy and slow. If you have the 8GB RAM version, your results might be a little different. So, without wasting any time, let's get started. First, make sure you join the official Pad 6 Telegram channel. In the pinned section of the channel, you can find the IqraOS file. As you can see, this ROM is based on Android 16. For downloading, you have three options: SourceForge, GoFile, and Pixel Drain. I am going to use GoFile. Just click on the download icon and the download will begin. Once the download is complete, close the browser. If you want root access and extra features, you can also download Shizuku Ultra and the COD tool. Now, close your browser and open the file manager. Go to your downloads folder, right click on the file and open it with WinRAR. Next, open your C drive and go to the Platform Tools folder. Simply drag and drop all the IqraOS files into the Platform Tools folder. After this process is complete, grab your Pad 6, restart the device, and while it is restarting, hold on the volume down button. This will boot your device into fast boot mode. Now go back to your PC, find the file named flashwindows.bat. Right-click on the file and run it as an administrator. This will open the command prompt and ask if you want a clean install. Type U and hit enter. The entire process is now fully automated. Just wait for the process to finish. Once completed, your Pad 6 will automatically restart. Let's wait for a moment. As you can see, the HyperOS logo has appeared. Here, you need to log in with your previous Me account. Here, this gives you the unlocking permission. After entering your password, your device will automatically unlock. Now, let me quickly set up the device and prepare it for the test and review. The first thing I noticed is that the MIUI camera is working perfectly. There is no need to use DC cam and the camera quality is very good. For video recording, you can shoot in 1080p at 30 and 60 fps, and it also supports 4K at 30 fps. The UI feels a bit laggy, but it is not too bad. Apps take a little time to load. However, once the apps are loaded into the RAM, the opening and closing animations feel smooth. In the control center, every new feature works perfectly, including holding the slider for brightness control. But some important features are missing, like desktop mode. Circle to search is available, but it works as a separate application rather than by holding the navigation bar. Because of this, it is better to add it to your taskbar or control center to use it everywhere. You can also connect the tablet to a Windows PC to use it as a secondary display. For multitasking, you get basic features like floating windows and split screen. They work fine, but when you adjust the windows, you can notice a slight delay in loading the apps. Inside the settings, all features are working well now. Keep in mind that on the first day, you cannot set up a password or Face ID, but after 3 to 4 days of use, you will be able to set them up. Keyboard and stylus settings are also available. For personalization, there is AI wallpaper support, which works well, though the UI feels a little laggy here too. You also get support for many themes. There is a search feature to find files and content, but it also recommends apps to download, which is not very nice. You can change colors in the display settings. In the refresh rate tab, you can force 144 Hz. However, doing this does not fix the laggy experience, and I think that is because of the 6 GB of RAM. You also get display tweaks like super resolution and AI HDR support. For sound effects, both Dolby and Me Sound are fully supported. In the battery section, there are only two modes: power saving and balance mode. In the charging settings, uh, You can choose between standard or top speed charging. For battery protection, there is no option to limit the charge level. It only has intelligent charging and charge boost. But I noticed both of them still push the battery to 100%. Now let's talk about the multimedia experience. You get widefine L1 support, which means you can enjoy all OTT content on Netflix and Prime Video in full HD 1080p quality. On YouTube, you can stream up to 4K at 60 fps HDR without any lag. Let's look at the benchmark scores. In AnTuTu, we get a score of around 1 million. In Geekbench, it scores 1260 in single core and 3132 in multi-core. In comparison mode, you can easily see the difference. In 3D Mark, the score is 3009.92. Here is the 10-minute CPU stress test report, and the stability is at 94%. Now let's move on to the actual gaming performance test. The first game is BGMI. Game mode is available and I switched it to ultimate mode. There are some extra features here like a voice changer. In the graphics settings, smooth, balanced, HD and HDR are all supported up to extreme, which means 60 FPS. You can also select Ultra HDR, but that only supports 40 FPS. For this test, we are playing on Smooth plus Extreme at 60 FPS. In the event area, the FPS drops between 47 to 60 FPS. In other locations, it stays around 55 to 60 FPS. Our second game is Call of Duty Mobile. In the graphics settings, we can select low graphics with ultra frame rate, which gives 90 FPS. But on medium, high and very high graphics, the frame rate maxes out at 60 FPS. Let's play on the 90 FPS settings. In multiplayer mode, the performance stays between 80 to 90 FPS, providing a smooth experience. The Battle Royale mode also gives the same experience. Next up is Free Fire. We applied the highest possible settings. However, Free Fire only supports 60 FPS on every custom ROM I have tested. The game maxes out at 60 FPS here. Comment down below if your device supports 60 or 90 FPS is in Free Fire. So that is it for today's video. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next one. Stay tuned.